Welcome to the Nameless blog. I'm your host, Dr. Kyle S. Berkeley. It is a pleasure to be with you. I am so excited to talk about this week's Nameless blog episode. And what better way to start it off than by jumping straight into some cool things that we're doing over here at Bold Print Publishing. The first is the GoFundMe for the film series Tiffany Saga. I mentioned this in the previous Nameless blog. We're currently in the process of developing multiple scripts actually for the first few episodes for the first season, which will cover events from the wake, and it will cover the book The Void. So that's in theory the first season of Tiffany Saga. So very excited about this. There's a GoFundMe. If you actually go search on the GoFundMe and type in my name, Kyle Berkeley, it will take you straight to the GoFundMe. We are now completely focused on doing this so that way we can raise money. We've moved from the pre-development to the development stage. Like I said, we're working on scripts. We have penned the director, which is the award-winning Devin Walker, who recently won the award for the Atlanta Film Festival, and he's currently nominated for the Baltimore Crown for the Renaissance Man of the Year, and very well deserved. Make no doubt about it. Devin Walker has been doing in the most positive way, and I can mention the most, from everything he's doing with the Fight the Stigma documentary, to the Walker Experience podcast, to all the work that he does throughout Baltimore City, bringing light to several issues such as food deserts, health problems, substance abuse usage, mental illness. Devin has been doing so much, and all the flowers and praise that's owed to you is definitely due to you. Congratulations, sir, on your nomination for the Baltimore Crown. Another person who's nominated for the Baltimore Crown is Miss Angie Smith Winder. Also, it didn't show up. Well, but there's a crown right here, so in the festivities of the Baltimore Crown. Of course, my background is not making it easy for it to show up. So that prop right there was for naught. It didn't work out. Also, for those that may be wondering, why am I wearing sunglasses? These are not sunglasses, actually. These are eyeglasses. These are prescription. Thanks. I appreciate the concern. But getting back to what I was saying, Miss Angie Smith Winder. Miss Angie Smith has served on the State Central Committee here in Baltimore, just like I did. She has been a strong advocate for bringing light to the murder rate here in Baltimore City. That's actually how we wound up meeting each other, is from Restoring the Village, which she founded. I am one of the founding members of Restoring the Village, from my work in mental health and working with Roberta's House at the time, and working with families who were victims of homicide, doing counseling there. So I am completely happy to see all the great work that Angie Smith has been doing, including her campaigns running for the city council. I mean, the work that she does in the school system, there's not enough praise I could give to Miss Angie Smith Winder. Um, just a phenomenal human being inside and out, and very well deserved for the Baltimore Crown Award. And then there's me. I'm also on the nominee list for the Baltimore Crown. And this is a huge pleasure for me. The names and of the people who are on the nomination list. Also, you could go to the baltimorescene.org, go to Vote 2023, and you can actually see all the list of all the different awards, and you could vote. You could definitely vote for people on there. I'm actually going to share my screen so that way you could see firsthand how this looks. And yeah, so here we are, the Baltimore Scene. You click up here. So as you see, second round honorees and nominees. And this is all you have to do. So you go down here, scroll on down, come with me, and you'll see. Oh, shouts out to Boss Man. When I was scrolling through this earlier, I saw this, and I was like, dude, That's so awesome that Boss Man is getting honored as a legend. Um, Very awesome artist. I remember when he first came out with NEK. I mean, they took the city by storm. Also, look at that, Kevin Brown. He's nominated for Snack. So cool story about Kevin and I. So Kevin and Bill ran the Station Arts Cafe and then Nancy by Snack, right? Or Snack by Nancy, I should say. And I met them many years ago while I was working at a shelter. And while working there, we got to know each other and I got to learn, oh, look, Shaka. There's Shaka Pitts right there. Dude, another great guy. Met him years ago when I was in the music scene. But going back, going back, uh, Kevin Brown, Bill, and I met when I was working at the shelter. There's Devin Walker right there. I was looking for this part right here. So activist of the year, Devin Walker's right here, and Shaka Pitts is right here. But Kevin Brown and I we met, and I learned a lot of work that Kevin had did on the political circuit, and then here's the Renaissance Man of the Year again. Devin Walker's right here. And flash forward some time later, and oh, cool, Tory Burton's nominated. I know he recently put out the play, so that's Genius of the Year. And so when I was in the process of writing The Wake and trying to figure out how to go about putting it out, Kevin was the one who put me in the direction of Cheryl Barton, which is amazing because Cheryl Barton was going to church with my wife for so many years. I didn't know who she was. And that's just ignorance on my part. And it's funny because my wife had suggested Cheryl at first, I think. And it went in one ear, and it was one of those things where it didn't really stay in that ear just because it was something I had to really do research on. And it made a lot of sense when Kevin was breaking it down. Hey, look, the benefits of working with Cheryl, especially this being my first novel. And I was trying to do something very experimental with my first novel, that being each chapter there is its own story, but all the stories as you read, they all intersected, really describe the downfall of the community, the downfall of the family. And Cheryl really helped me really put this together. Like the book was done, but it wasn't done. It wasn't edited. The formatting was all over the place. And Cheryl really knew how to look at that and really put the pieces in play. And like I said, Kevin was really instrumental in that. And when I did my book release or book sign, my first book signing / release party, it was at Nancy by Snack. And there are pictures of that on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And I probably needed to do some more stuff on my threads. Impact Award. Yeah, so that's just something that I always think fondly back about Kevin and Bill. Sadly, we lost Bill a few months ago, and it really sucks. Oh look, Shinyur, she's up for this for Impact Award. That's phenomenal. And then Shaka's up for another award, Barber of the Year. Hairstylist of the Year. Ooh, locks of honey. Nice. Dreads and heads. That's when I first grew my locks out back when I was in high school. The first time around. No, that time I had cornrows. But I started them off with twists, and then I had went over to cornrows. Actually started at dreads and heads. Makeup of the year, bookstore of the year. So cool story. I was talking to the author of Kids McJourney and Water in a Broken Glass, both film and the book. And also, please go on Amazon and check out Water in the Brooklyn Glass. It's a cool film. And the author Odessa Rose, who wrote the book that was then turned into the movie that's on Amazon right now. And if you have Prime, you can go watch it right now. It's under your Prime membership. I just watched it last night. And we were talking about the different bookstores in the city. And it was cool because all the bookstores that were named were definitely bookstores that we were talking about. Hey, look, I have this here. Hey, look, I have that there. Hey, and we were just talking about, possibly doing a Baltimore tour next year and what we're planning for the holidays. So it's cool seeing all those books up there named. Then we had podcast of the year. Mind you, I'm actually looking through these myself because I'm always looking for a cool podcast to listen to. For those that want to do, I do listen to podcasts like Small Town Murder, Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinion. Uh, there's a few others. There's the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, which is probably my favorite podcast. That and Your Stupid Opinions. And Time Suck with Dan Cummings. I'm a huge fan of that. Let's see what else. This is the thing, but with Kev on Stage. I love that. Um, Here's the thing, it's called. Yeah, so Kev on Stage and Angel, I definitely like that. The Transatlantic Crime, I listened to that joint. And I was listening to Monster, and I haven't listened to that in a while, a good while. And I just started Choked Out, which I am enjoying that. Actually, the author, one of the author who wrote Mud and Tides, she is the person who does Choked Out, and it's a real cool podcast. Rancher Meisters, I'm getting into that. I'm enjoying it so far. Of course, ETCC because I am also a part of that cast. So there, I was listening to Gone South. I don't know why, but I stopped listening to it. It's nothing wrong with it. I just stopped listening to it. Restaurants of the year. And here's my dude, Hoodfellas Bistro. That's my man. Dude, this is so awesome that they're out there. Like knowing how they started from working out the house to now having that beautiful restaurant downtown, man, that's amazing. And for those that don't know, Ben Thompson, the owner and founder of Hoodfellas Bistro, when we were in the process of filming scenes to shoot the trailer for The Wake, actually, Ben was the person that was sticking up Tina in the scene at the cemetery. And here's Nancy by Snack. The Crab Bag? I never heard of that one. This is so cool. The empanada lady, I gotta check her out. Poppy Cuisine, yeah. Water for Chocolate, oh my gosh, hey, Water for Chocolate is gold. I'm trying to tell y'all, if y'all haven't been there, go there like ASAP. Like go there now. Black Swan, okay. Um, Black Swan is good. Yeah. But oh my gosh, man, Water for Chocolate, man, dude, the prices are great, the food is phenomenal, the atmosphere is phenomenal. Yeah, I actually can't wait for a lot of my family to come up from South Carolina soon, so that way I could take them there. Then we have Entrepreneur of the Year. You know what? I think some kind of way I missed her, but Angie Smith Winder is under Renaissance Woman of the Year. I think I missed her some kind of way, and my apologies, and Angie. I was trying to find you so that way I could show everybody. And here I am, dude. Okay, so this is a mind-blowing situation right here for me, right? And I'm going to explain why. So I'm checking out a lot of the names of these authors, and a lot of them I'm very familiar with. And the fact that I'm on here listed, all right. So I'm gonna just name some of the authors I don't want to say up against, but some of the authors that are on this list that I'm familiar with that have done such great work. And the fact that I'm mentioned amongst these authors is amazing. So D. Watkins. So for those who saw We Run the City on HBO, he was featured on there several times. He talked about his book on the actual show, which is phenomenal. And D. Watkins is somebody who, when I came out with The Wake, my publicist was who was working with D. Watkins, Sherry Woods. She was trying to link me up with him so that way we could have some kind of a partnership going on, and I could learn a lot from him about the book writing industry. And it didn't work out that way. Mind you, he's a very busy person between the work he was doing at the college, and I think he was working at University of Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken, and the work he's doing with his books and everything. So trust me, no harm, no foul. But it's amazing, knowing how much he sold and the popularity that he has. I'm on the same list as this dude. Like, that's crazy. Keisha Starr, she's in the process of working on a film for one of her books. She has a huge following. She and her husband have a podcast as well. Her husband has the podcast. One other. I don't want to mess anything up. My apologies, Keisha. And I've read a lot of her work. She's phenomenal. I can't believe it. Dustin Rose isn't on this list. Like, that's actually a crime. Who else? Who else? Who else? Destiny Williams, phenomenal. Vincent DeRuyter. Okay, so true story. I didn't know who Vincent DeRuyter was, right? Did not until about, I'm gonna say, back in April. Some kind of way I was introduced to his work, and he is great. So, I mean, like, again, Kima, oh my gosh. Like, there's so many great people on his list. And then there's me, you know what I mean? Which, I mean, I'm supposed to be on this list, but it's just one of those things like, wow, this is amazing, So to be nominated with these great writers, it's just amazing. Like, thanks, y'all. Like, get on here and vote. Um, Best in artists. Youth artists, business of the year, retail store. Yay, cash line. Vendor of the year, hip hop artist of the year, hip hop artist of the year for women, musician of the year, battle rapper of the year, group duo of the year, poet of the year. Oh, cool, poetic soul. Look at you. Yes. Creative of the year, Scar Akbar. So Scar did this track for DJ Big Diesel back when I was producing for Arsenal Records and Dog University, and I think it was called My Tape, and it had a sample of Biggie, and it couldn't, so it wouldn't meet the clearance to get played on the radio, but it was one of the hottest tracks. Now, of course, it's being used for his Turn the Table podcast, and Band of the Year, Manager of the Year, and Producer of the Year. And like I said, that was a big record, and it's crazy how it was a big record and it didn't get radio play. But I think that was a crazy weird fact. Dancer of the Year. That's a crazy weird fact about Arsenal Records, Dog University Records, Less Money, Radio Show of the Year, Diamond K, my man's, and Song of the Year, DJ of the Year, Visual Artist of the Year, Actress of the Year. Is my girl Ramona? Yes, Ramona Rideout. Boom. So Ramona and I were on Devon podcast. Um, I'm blanking on the name of the podcast. I just said it earlier. But we were on the Walker Experience podcast with Devon Walker and with Maya also, right? No, was Maya? Yeah, but we were on there, and like I said, it was a wonderful experience. Ramona does the acting with Ramona. She was on We Run the City, and Media Awards, Studio of the Year. So that's how I actually got to know Ramona. And Ramona was actually working with me for the audiobook for The Void. And, things got busy. And then there's been a whole issue of where can we record at and a lot of other things. So we're definitely going to circle that barn again and get back to that. But it's great to see her on here. Photographer of the year, event host of the year. Wow. Baltimore Club Scene Award, Under the Radar Award, Graphic Designer of the Year. Oh, Scarf Bar again. Go, Scarf. Tattoo Artist of the Year. Best Clothing Line. Fashion Designer of the Year. Best Underground Release. Wellness Award. Oh, this is a real cool award to have. Elder of the Year. I like that. Bike Life Award. Crown of Now. Our vote's definitely going to go to Kevin Brown. Sorry to everybody else. Oh, look, Jessica Larry's on the list. That's awesome. All right, so me saying I'm voting for Kevin Brown was not a slide towards Jessica Larry's. It really wasn't. Jessica Larry's is amazing. She is developing a huge following. I'm a huge fan of her work. And she probably will never even hear this blog anyway. But still, huge fan of her work. She's phenomenal. I mean, shoot, if I could get her casted on the Tiffany saga, I mean, I would. Without a doubt. Yeah, that was actually by mistake. I just select something. I was trying to scroll up to show y'all Angie Smith Winder. Bear with me. I'm trying my best not to have any quiet space. All right, here we go. Renaissance Woman of the Year. Let's scroll down. Find Angie. Where art thou? That is weird. I saw her on here earlier before I had went live, and now I don't see her. That is weird. She was definitely on here though. All right, look. This is one of those unsolved mysteries of the universe. She is definitely on there. When you see her name, please give my sister, my twin, a vote. Angie Smith Winder. How am I not seeing this? This is just blowing my mind. Like I just saw it when I was getting ready to do this, right? And then now I don't see it at all. That is amazing how that happens. All right. So now that we've gone through that, and that was great. Let's talk about some other stuff while we still have time. The Legacy is out, is doing its numbers. The Union is out. Well, not the Union's out. I just received my first round of edits back last night. So I'm going through. I'm only at chapter 4 right now on my edits. There's 40 plus chapters in the Union, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to have this thing out by the 27th of this month. Between the 27th of November and the 5th of December, I'm going to definitely try to have the Union out. So that's the reason why I've been pausing on a holiday rollout, because I want to see how this pans out with the union and getting this out within this time frame. The trailer is done, which I'm excited. Well, it's not done, but it's right on the cusp of being done. Like I said, I didn't have an exact release date for the union, which is why I held off on the trailer, and I've held off on adding these two little details to the trailer. Um, and soon as I'm finished the edits, and I could send this first round of edits back to the editor, then I'll be releasing the trailer, which I think everybody's going to really like this trailer. Whether you have read all the books in the series already or have not, I think the trailer is going to really catch you. And I'm going to get into some fun stuff right now. Let's start off with the Loki series finale or season finale. They haven't officially announced whether it was the series finale or not yet. But the Loki series season finale was masterfully done. It was such a great way to stick the landing on that series and on that character, which I didn't realize that Tom Hiddleston has been playing that role for 14 years. That's a long time to be playing that character. I mean, just think Avengers 1 came out in 2012. I think Loki came out, Thor 1 came out in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2010. I think it was 2011, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just amazing like how he grew up basically with that role. And they really stuck the landing. I like how they played with time. I like how they played with history in the last two episodes. And what does it mean to have a purpose or glorious purpose, as Loki kept putting it. I thought that was really dope. I like how they bookend Loki's desire for a throne versus now Loki's burden to sit on the throne. I really thought that was really powerful and impactful, no matter who you are, where you are. The Marvels came out. That was pretty cool. I have nothing bad to say about the Marvels. So if you're looking for somebody to bash it, I'm not that guy. I thought it was a dope movie. I thought it was some real cool visuals in there. I thought it was fun, and I really think that as fans, like me, so me, low truth about me, I'm a comic book junkie, and I grew up reading comics, right? So growing up reading comics, and so reading stuff like the X-Men, and there was the Wolverine run in the 90s that I was really into. That's when I first met Deadpool. And then I got into the Deadpool character, which I thought was cool. There was the Hulk. I was a long time Iron Man fan. I feel like as far as Iron Man, as comic book runs, the ones that I really like the most, and there's only like two that I could really think of his runs, Superior Iron Man being probably number one on my list, and I'm kind of sad that they dropped it the way how they did. Iron Man sadly didn't, to me. I don't think he actually ever had a good run of comics until they started making his movies. Sadly, like there's a lot of good stories that I don't know what happened. Like because Spider-Man had great runs, like a lot of different great stories. Fantastic Four always. There's tons of great X-Men storylines in the comics. But for whatever reason, the Iron Man comics only, to me, from let's say the 90s all the way up until 2008, I could only think of two real good runs with Iron Man, and I don't know why it worked out like that. But and he wound up becoming one of the most popular comic book characters that translated into film, and a lot of that is definitely the credit to Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a bad word to say about the Marvels. Uh, Doom Patrol. Oh my gosh, that finale. So I didn't realize when I did the Nameless blog episode last week that the finale didn't air. I actually thought the series had ended. So when I had did the Nameless blog, then watched the penultimate episode, the episode before the finale, and then it hit me. I'm like, oh crap, I have to wait for the finale on Thursday, right? So I waited, watched the finale on Thursday, then watched Loki, and I was like, dude, they really stuck the landing on the show. And I'm actually glad I got to watch it with everybody else who watched the finale. Then I was really upset because there wasn't enough people talking about the finale of this show. And I was like, Doom Patrol was really dope with how they fleshed out everybody. But me being a mental health therapist, I really like how they fleshed out Cliff and Jane. I thought that was really cool how they was fleshing them out. Yeah, so it just caught me off guard that not a lot of people were talking about the Doom Patrol. And I honestly think out of the DC shows, aside from what's the name of that one show with John Cena in? Of course, you couldn't see him in it because you can't see John Cena. Peacemaker. But aside from Peacemaker, I would definitely say Doom Patrol was probably this version of DC their best show. Like I'm not going to get into the whole Arrowverse stuff and all that kind of stuff, but as far as since Max has become a thing, including the HBO Max era, Doom Patrol, Peacemaker. Oh, wait, hold up. I'm set tripping. There's one other show. There's one other show, and I think this one is the one above all for DC, and that is Watchmen. I think Watchmen is definitely number one. Yeah, if we were going to do a ranking, right? Let's play a game. Kyle Berkeley's ranking of the DC TV shows from the HBO Max era, right? So Arrowverse does not count. So don't come at me with your Arrowverse hate. Doom Patrol number one. Peacemaker would go number two. Doom Patrol 3. And Titans would be on the outside looking in just because of wonky writing in seasons 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. Yeah. Titans had this weird thing where it's like they had these great ideas. They knew how to execute them, but then they would do this fluff filler thing. And it would really lessen the value of the show. And it was like all the pieces that were there, they made it mature. They didn't make it campy. They did comic accurate things like with the costumes and with a lot of Easter egging. There was a lot of things I loved about Titans, and then like I said, there was a lot of weird filler stuff, and make you just go, "Why are you doing this? Like you have a budget to actually execute on a high scale level. Like, what are you guys doing here?" And it would really frustrate me to no end. It's like, why? And I would go back and watch again. But again, I really did like Titans. I really like the feel of it, but it would be on the outside looking in because Doom Patrol was that much better. And as a mental health therapist, I love what they did with Jane. I love how they tackled the mental health part with Jane and how they handled it. I love how they didn't shy away from Cliff's character, and I love how they really went in on Cliff and who he was as a human being. And I also like how they didn't really shy away from. He didn't really, even though his character evolved, they didn't really get away from the base of who he was as a scumbag, who cheated on his wife and who was Cliff is a very complex character. I'll definitely put it to you like that. And it's the reason why Brendan Fraser was cast to play him. And that was the best casting for him. Invincible. So I didn't even know Invincible was 2 episodes in. I'm glad, dude. So crazy fact, as much as a comic book junkie as I am, when the Invincible comic book line was out, I was on the Walking Dead train. So I was getting the Walking Dead comics, the compendiums, the books, and I would get the advertisements for Invincible inside of the Walking Dead comics. And I'll get to it, and now the show's out, and I was like, dude, I gotta read compendiums 1, 2, and 3. And I didn't realize how much of a massive catalog this series had. So I really got to catch up. And I'm just like, dude, I really got to get into this. So eventually I'm going to do my background homework on Invincible and get the other books and start reading up on them. I think I'm going to stop there for this week, but definitely Baltimore Crown, go there, check us out. Definitely vote for me for Author of the Year. Devin Walker, Renaissance Man of the Year. Shaka Pitts, Angie Smith Winder. She's on there. I promise you, she is. I'm really upset I couldn't find her this time around. She's definitely on there. Actually, I'm going to see if I could get her on here for Nameless blog episode. I know Odessa Rose and I talked about this on Saturday about getting her on the show and us just vibing out and just talking about our books and what she did with her movie and how she won a different film festival awards with her movie and her now international fan base. So definitely want to get her on the show. And again, next week we'll definitely talk more about the holiday rollout as we get more work done on the union, and we'll start talking about the promoting piece on that. So on that note, peace.